on YouTube last night. It was a blank screen. So I thought, well, that's not working, but it actually was working. I just couldn't tell. Good evening, everybody. If you are tuning in with me this evening, I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm going to turn on a little background music, really soft. Let's see here. I'm still waiting for you. Got a little Jeremy Camp this evening. See if it's working. There we go. Hi, everybody. Hi, Harry. Thanks for joining me. How's everyone this evening? It is a cold, frigid, horrible, terrible, no good, very bad Saturday night. No, it's a very good evening. Good evening, everybody. It's just cold outside. Where are you from? It's just cold outside. Where are you from? I don't know you. Sorry, Teb. Hi, Carlo. And I better get my glasses on. I have my blue lens or whatever they're called this evening. Oh, I tell you what, my eyes have been hurting lately. I have never had so much screen time in my whole life. So, welcome. How's everybody this evening? Where are you from? If you put that in the chat, that would be awesome. Tonight we're going to talk about if working harder really works. And what I mean by that is, if you work harder, more hours, try to prove yourself, right? Do you find that you actually make more money, make more points, have more job security? I guess to a point we do, right? But if you're a salaried position person, what's the payoff? And does that always work? How many people have I met through this online business that I'm in that have been given the pink slip after 20 years for one and 30 years for another. One was a corporate job and one was a welder, for instance, just as an example. And after, dedicated hard work, they were just handed a pink slip. There was no severance pay. So does working harder really pay off when you're working for somebody else, when you're working that 9 to 5? Anybody? If you got some feedback for me, I'd love to know your experience. I know for me, let me just start there. It does, huh? Tell me how, Dom. How does working harder pay off? Where do you get more job security? Guaranteed corporation won't shut down, guaranteed no layoff, your boss cares about you and your interests. I mean, I always think they do, and then I kind of hit the harsh reality. So I'll tell you my story for those of you that don't know. Raises and job security if you're working for the right people. Yep, can be true. And there's other people, like one gal in my group with this online business. She said, I have been, picking up on all those, trying to work for the raises and the promotions, and I've been achieving each single one, and yet I'm still not keeping up with the cost of living and inflation. And that's why she picked up Legacy Builders, this online business, so that she can be her own boss and earn what she's worth. In other words, whatever she puts out there, she actually gets that back. So sometimes promotions and raises haven't worked for some people, but I get what you're saying. For myself, for instance, this is why it's an interesting topic for me, is I've been a pastor for over 30 some years, and you would think after 30 some years that would build job security, which I always have pretty good job security, and they never want me to go. They never want me to leave. Big if, though. I agree with the be your own boss. Yeah, right? I mean, okay, great example. After 30 plus years in the ministry, I still don't have enough pension and savings. So I started network marketing. I've done tons of side gigs, right? And I thought, well, I'll just pick up some extra pay and I'll build my business so that I can retire before I die. So I can enjoy my golden years, right? And what I found is there is no control. Even there, I wasn't really my own boss, because that 20% commission, I was having to share it with my upline. I was having to depend on downline to actually duplicate what I was doing and be as motivated as I was. Amen, vegan teacher. We'll get to that. Absolutely. That's such a good point. So being a pastor, absolutely. I know where my, our source and supply is. Thank you. Veda, these are those blue lens or whatever, and my son's like, you need some blue lens. I'm like, I got them right over here. I'm like, I better use these, because my eyes were hurting like at 2 a.m. last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't get back to sleep because my eyes hurt, and I never have headaches. So my point is, at least with this online business, the reason I'm still serving 2 churches, but in the meantime, in the nooks and crannies of my day, I can be my own boss. I am the CEO now because I have master resale rights to this product, and at least the time I put in building my business, when I share and market this program with somebody else that's interested in building their own online business, I earn 100% commission. And so I'm so much more in control of the outcome. For me, I want to work smarter, not harder. At my age, I won't even say it. Yeah, go ahead. What's your question, Isa? At my age, I don't want to work harder. I've done that, at age 35 and 40, and we're trying to, climb the corporate ladder or get ahead, build our wealth, materialism, whatever. And at this, it's like everybody says downsize. Well, where do you get the bump head from? Well, don't know what you're talking about. So we'll move on from that question. I don't have a bump. I have maybe some hair that's out of place this evening, and forgive me for my bad hair day. It's so dry here. My hair does not cooperate when it's dry. Absolutely. I'm in the Black Hills of South Dakota, and we are a very arid community, which is really nice in the summer. There's no humidity and no bugs. It's awesome. But in the wintertime, boy, do I suffer. It's just like, we have the Badlands just an hour east of here, and so it's very dry. Where are you guys from? I'd love to know. Are any of you getting this cold snap? We've got, we're supposed to get down to like 15 below tonight, so both of my churches canceled for tomorrow. How about you? What are you up to this Saturday night besides listening to me and being here and sharing your thoughts and ideas and questions if you have any? Love to chit chat about being your own boss and whether or not you think working harder really works so far as getting where you want. Again, for me, I wish I would have known, and I wish there would have been like online businesses when I was a single parent and I was 20 years old and I was making, you guys, the jobs I've had in my past, back when I was 18 and just getting out on my own, I waitressed for a while. We made $2.50 plus tips. Anybody else remember those days? Now you want to talk about working harder. It didn't necessarily mean that I was going to earn more I mean, okay, you make a few more tips or better tips, but really, you guys. And then I became married and divorced and a single parent. And maybe by that time, I mean, 20s, 30s, I was finally making 20,000, I think. I mean, some of the jobs, you guys, I listed them. What are some of the things I've done? I always call myself the Jill of all trades. What are some of the jobs you've done? Anybody like me out there? Or are you more like my dad, for instance? He's one of those that says, you just get out of high school, go to college, you get the degree. He was a teacher for 45 plus years, and then you get your pension. And it's a good one, and you live off of it. And I'm sure he and his wife did very well on their teachers' pensions. But for a lot of us, that 40-40-40 rule, working 40 hours for 40 years to get 40% of your pay, doesn't always work, and that's what happened to me. So I realized a couple years ago, I'm not keeping up with the inflation and cost of living. I need a side gig, and I don't want to pick up, I have 2 jobs already. And I also have a real estate license, by the way, and I sell real estate on the side, and thank God my church has let me moonlight, because at least when I do sell a house, I get some decent commission, right? Is there anybody out there that can, are you picking up what I'm putting down, as they say these days? Anybody? Anybody? Hi, Skip, and I should say hello to some of you, Lena and Jack and Cass. Nice to have you with me. Beth, George, thanks for sticking around. Like I say, our time is our most valuable asset, the most precious gift we're given, and you are sharing some of your evening, your time with me, so I appreciate it. Thank you. I know you could be doing other things, and we're busy people these days, so thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that. Hi, Julie. So I have been a single parent, as I said. Not anybody out there, ladies, single parents, single moms. If I would have known about this back then, I would have been, can you imagine if I would have taken the same 7 years, undergraduate 4-year program, 3-year graduate program in seminary, and put 7 years of my life into building my own being my own boss and building my own business? Can you imagine where I would be today? So far as financially, anyhow. And I'm not saying I regret. I don't. I just wish I would have seen the forecast and been a little wiser. And I was raised with a poverty mentality. I had to take a vow of poverty. It's one of the things in our book of discipline in the church. No joke. It's like God will take care of you, just as, I forget, was it Isa said? Or, no, that was the different person. Anyhow, yeah, God will take care of us, but we also have to make wise decisions for ourselves every step of the way, right? And God does give us the wisdom to do that. Hi, Lori and Linda, and Cheech is here. So if I would know then what I know today, I'd be doing online marketing, online businesses today. Do your own research, find the one that's right for you, but some of the things you want to look for if you want to work smarter, not harder, and build your own online business, you want something with a high ticket item. So you're not just selling lipstick, Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you can sell a $15 tube of lipstick and then get a 20% commission, right? Or I was selling in my network marketing a nutritional supplement for $50 and getting a 20% commission. You want a higher ticket item, and in our program we have a we have a $100, $300, $600, or $900 program. So with 100% profit, master resale rights, I own this business and these products. I get 100% of that. So I can earn 100% for each sale, $300 for each sale, 6 and 9. And you want that. You want to be able to have a big ticket item, and that's pretty good. You want the 100% profit, the master resale rights. so that you own your own business and the products in them and you get that 100%, not sharing commissions. This is not an MLM. There's no upline, there's no downline. You want an automated business so that it works for you when you're not working, when you're out there going to the grocery store, on a vacation, with your family, enjoying dinner, sleeping. It's still working for you. And in the morning you wake up and it's like, I got some emails. Oh, I got a sale. Yay. And so it's evergreen. Whatever you put out there, like online, it's there even when you're not there. Does that make sense? So that's an awesome thing about it. Jeanette, thanks for liking this, you guys. And I hope you'll share this with your friends. If you know anybody that's working harder, expecting different results, better results, more money, more time freedom. Look, if you know anybody that is looking for an online business, I hope that you'll send them my way to my page or my site. A Flourishing Legacy is my business, and just hook us up. I would love to share this information. It's free. The information's free. You don't have to sign up. You can always opt out of the emails, but at least send them my way. Also, every night at 6 o'clock, I'll do my lives and we can talk about different subjects around the issues, the pain points that people are experiencing these days. So let's see, what else do you want in a online business? You want to make sure that that automation is like a email funnel, so it's working for you all the time, and you get back office training. So this is a business in a box. So once you sign up, it is already created for you. It's a one-time upfront fee, and the training's right there step by step. It's a proven blueprint. And what do I mean by that? Proven blueprint. It means if you follow the steps and if you're coachable and you take at least 2 hours a day and do income producing activity 2 hours a day, not just watching videos and learning, but if you actually do the implementation of what they teach, it's proven because people are earning 6-7 figures within the first year. So I have testimony after testimony. If you go to my page here on TikTok, I'm also on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, you'll see the testimonies. I try to post them at least once or twice a week. So check those out. Lots of testimonials. Hi, Gina. Is it Jean? And Peanut Butter. And Tetta and Kira, Gail, hi, nice to have you with me this evening. So you want the back office training, step-by-step programs, so that, and also the community support. Everyone in our community, we have about 48,000 people in our community, and not all of them are online all at once, but usually about 200 are online and asking questions and getting online support. So they're very helpful and very encouraging. I've never seen anything like it. And you kind of learn over time to get your own little niches and support and friends, so that you are building a connection and a community there that you can really hook into each day as you learn while you earn. Let's see here. And we also have the tech help. So thank God, I think at least 2 times a week we have free webinars around the tech, so that, and she's really good, so she will help you with your website, if there's any glitches in your funnel or email, or if you're not tech savvy, which is really helpful because I'm not. I didn't grow up with this. How about you guys? So yeah, I have done so many things in my life. You talk about work harder, and it pays off, not smarter. Don't work smarter, work harder, and then you'll get more money. I just disagree with that, because I've worked too hard throughout my whole life. It hasn't worked for me. I've worked my little tail off, and I got to tell you what, with the master's, a divinity degree, and the degrees I have, going to liberal arts, college, etc., I really struggled as a single parent for 20 years to earn $20,000 or more. In this community in the Black Hills of South Dakota, I mean, I lived in the city in Denver, but I didn't want to take my kids to the big city, and I didn't want to have to lose the quality of living lifestyle that I had here and the safety and family, And that kind of degree, I really struggled. So it wasn't until I was in my 50s, I finally made $50,000. That's amazing. And it's like poverty level these days. I mean, you're right on that lower level middle income, right? Am I right? Hi, Chad, Donald, Veda, hi. Thanks for being with me this evening, you guys. Kat, Sissy, Oma. So I've been a flight attendant for United Airlines for 8 years, and that's like I'm sorry, no offense, I loved it, but I'm glad I'm not there anymore. It's like a glorified waitress in the sky. And I tell you what, you're on your feet sometimes 15 hours a day, and minimum sleep, they have to, by law, give us 8 hours, and yet by the time you actually get off the plane, get on the van, get to your motel, get to your room, and hopefully there's not noisy neighbors, you don't get 8 hours. You talk about working hard for not... I mean, it didn't matter how hard we worked, we didn't get any better pay raise than what was allotted per year, and they had their pay structure. It's just what you sign up for. Like I said, waitressing. I was a mucker at the Homestake mine. It's a gold mine in Leeds, South Dakota. 1978, I made $6 an hour as a woman. And that was pretty darn good. That's why I chose that line of work, because most female positions out there when I was 18 years old or whatever it was, 20, you could make $2, $3 an hour back then, 1978. $6 an hour plus an extra 10 cents an hour if I worked the evening shift graveyard, and I got an extra 10 cents an hour if I would go underground, and I worked on the 3,000 level underneath the ground in Homestake Mine, and I was like one of 2 or 3 women. It was all men, which back then didn't bother me a bit. Alicia and Kyle, Mary, hi, nice to have you with Shankit, nice to have you with me. Dana and Jen and Justin, Betty and Sissy, hi, thanks for being with me this evening. Bonnie. So, what's a mucker? I was working underneath the ground, evening shift. You talk about scary. The only light is on your helmet in some spots down there in that mine underground, 3,000 feet underneath the ground. And it's just darn right kind of spooky and scary, honestly. I finally quit on Friday the 13th when it was 1 October years ago. But it doesn't matter how much dirt you shovel, you're only going to make $6.20 an hour. Doesn't matter how much harder I worked. Just the way it was. Christina, Sammy, hi. What else have I done? I bent reinforcement bar with the fellas there for a while. Again, I chose these men's jobs because they paid better than female jobs. I also built soffits, and I worked in cabinetry for a while. I mean, it's like, why not? They were better paying jobs. I taught motorcycle safety, and that was more recent, actually, for 4 years here in the Black Hills. Has anybody ever been to the Sturgis Rally? Anybody bike riders out there? I have a 1200 Triumph Bonneville Sturgis Rally. Anybody bike riders out there? I have a 1200 Triumph Bonneville Speedmaster. I still ride, but I don't teach motorcycle safety anymore. But I learned how to ride my own motorcycle in 1995, and I decided, why not? That's good pay, again. And there's very few women in that career profession too. And I also work for Polaris for the Sturgis Rally the first week of August. And I did the demo tours. So I would lead the tours through the Black Hills on the Slingshot Indian motorcycle and Victory motorcycle. Anybody done that? Anybody a motorcycle rider? Anybody been to Sturgis? That's good time. I enjoyed it because it was outside in the sun. Like I said, I have my real estate license. I've also had my insurance, life and health insurance license, but I gave that one up because, boy, that one, I didn't want to chase my tail doing life insurance. Plus, ethically and morally, it just started to leave a bad taste in my mouth. So I gave up my license with life and health insurance, and that's not an easy test to take. Yeah, and I've been a minister for over 35 years, and you talk about hard. It may not seem like the hardest job, but I'll tell you what, when you have to bury your friends, when you have to walk through them, the death process, and their families, and lately it's been pretty tough, and you don't get paid anymore to do it. That's one of the hardest jobs I've ever had to do. Hi, Kathy and Lynette. Can anybody relate? So anyhow, as somebody said, yeah, I know who my source and supply is, and God has been so good to me. You bet. But I'm trying to take the bull by the horns, take control of my own life, take control of my own retirement, and be a little smarter, because I have made a commitment to myself. I am not going to live the lifestyle my mom did in her last 10 years as she declined and she got Alzheimer's and she spent her whole savings and retirement pension on health care. And I'm not going to be a burden to my family, to my children. So I had to do something different when my pension and my savings wasn't adding up, and I didn't want to work harder picking up another job and losing more of my time freedom. So this is what I do. If you can do this, you can have an online business, and you don't necessarily have to do lives. You can do selfless content, faceless content, and market yourself that way. It just means you don't have to go live, and you've seen those faceless people just put on pictures, nice pictures and logos and information. But if you're using social media already and you paid for a really expensive phone you're holding in your hand and you're on, you're scrolling all the time, well, what are you looking for? And why do we spend so much time there? Maybe we could be productive and make money online from our expensive phone. So that's what I decided to do. Learn a new skill. You know what? This is not going away, folks. This is the #1 fastest growing industry at 1.5 billion today, and it's projected to be 1.5 trillion by 2030. So I think it's something that it's wise for everybody to kind of at least know more, get the training. So as I said, you can come in at the $100 level and get the basic training, $300, $600, or $900, and just start and take it at your own pace. And my business is called A Flourishing Legacy. That's .com if you're interested, or just go to my TikTok. It's in my bio. So one of the things I love to do before I sign off is I love to share an inspired word, a word of God, and I also would like to ask if there are any prayer requests out there. The other night, somebody asked me to pray for Oklahomans because their bill number 484, they're trying to outlaw homelessness. And that's an issue close to my heart because 484, they're trying to outlaw homelessness. And that's an issue close to my heart because I've almost been there, that close to living on the streets, and I had babies. And when I was in seminary, I took my little 2-year-olds just for, I think it was 2 nights, and it was a project through seminary where, we were watched and monitored, but we were experientially living out the life of a homeless person in Denver, Colorado, and walking the streets and from church to church and food pantry to food pantry, just like the homeless did. And boy, what a learning experience, because even when they got food, it wasn't very good, and they're sleeping under bridges and just living off whatever handouts they could. So I don't know what Oklahoma and the legislators there expect them to do or what they're going to do about it, but let's keep them in our prayers. Just pop that into your comments if anybody has any prayer requests, and I will put them on my prayer list. Okay, so this week, since Monday is Martin Luther King's birthday, our devotional has to do with memorial to Martin Luther King Jr. A Dream in the Making, the story of Martin Luther King Jr. It's not long. Bear with me. Micah from the Bible, the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8. God has shown you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. I love that. What does the Lord require of me? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with my God. As the sun began to rise over Atlanta, Georgia in the early morning of January 15th, 1929, a child named Martin Luther King Jr. entered the world. From a young age, it was clear that Martin was destined for greatness, not because of his family history, but because of the compassion and determination that flowed through his veins. Martin grew up in a loving household. His father was a pastor. His mother was a school teacher. That's funny. I come from a long line of pastors and teachers. The values of faith, education, and equality were woven into the fabric of his upbringing. He learned to understand the importance of standing up for what is right, often witnessing his father lead the congregation with strength and integrity. But the realities of racism and segregation were ever present, casting a shadow over his childhood. As he walked to school, he saw signs that divided the community, whites only and coloreds. These injustices troubled him deeply, igniting a fire within his heart. It was during these formative years that the seeds of a dream began to take root. Martin dreamed of a world where everyone, regardless of color of their skin, would be treated with dignity and respect. At Morehouse College, Martin's education flourished, and his passion for social justice deepened. He was inspired by the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi and the power of nonviolent resistance. He believed that love could conquer hate and that true change could come through peaceful means. He often stayed up late into the night writing and reflecting on the vision that he held for a better future. After earning his doctorate in theology, he returned to Montgomery, Alabama, where he took on the role of pastor at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, and it is here that his dream began to take shape. In 1955, when Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her bus seat, Martin was thrust into a leadership position in the Montgomery bus boycott. He called upon the community to join together in a peaceful protest against segregation. With each passing day, Martin's resolve grew stronger. He spoke passionately about justice, equality, and the power of love, rallying people from all walks of life to stand together against oppression. His voice became a beacon of hope, and the boycott sparked a movement that would change the course of history. As the years went by, Martin continued to rise as a leader in the civil rights movement. He traveled across the nation, organizing marches and speaking to crowds that gathered to hear his powerful words. He inspired millions with his vision of a world where people would be judged not by the skin color, but by the content of their character. In August of 1963, during the historic March on Washington, Martin delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech. Standing before a diverse crowd of over 250,000 people, he painted a vivid picture of unity and equality, calling for justice and freedom. His words resonated deeply, transcending race and creed, igniting a collective desire for change. Despite the challenges and dangers that he faced, Martin remained steadfast in his belief in nonviolence. He understood that true change requires patience, perseverance, and above all, love. Even when confronted with hatred and violence, he chose to respond with compassion, embodying the very principles that he preached. As we reflect this week on Martin Luther King Jr. and in the days ahead and the days leading up to MLK Day, we are reminded of the power of one individual's dream to inspire a movement. His legacy teaches us that each of us has the capacity to effect change in our own communities. It urges us to confront injustice, to seek understanding, and to stand together in the pursuit of equality for all. On this day, as we honor Dr. King's life and work, let us carry forward his dream. Let us strive to create a world that embraces diversity, fosters compassion, and promotes justice for all. Each step we take towards understanding and unity is a step towards fulfilling the dream that Dr. King envisioned. It is a dream that will continue to inspire each one of us today. Our prayer today is, we come before you with hearts full of gratitude for the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. May we be inspired by his courage to stand for justice and his commitment to love and mercy. Help us to act justly in our own lives, to extend compassion to those in need, and to walk humbly in your presence. Let us carry forward the dream, his dream of equality and unity, shining your light in a world that so desperately needs it. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. And your affirmation for the day, Kenny, is I am committed to living with love, justice, and compassion, embracing my role in creating a better world for all. Positive daily quote comes directly from Martin Luther King Jr. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Good reminders. Boy, that touched my heart. Yeah, really. it's very meaningful. It's where my heart's at. There's so much need in this world today, so many people to pray for, so much injustice. So I hope you'll join me today and this week to lift those people up in prayer for peace, for justice, God's grace and mercy. We sure do need it. So with that, you guys, I thank you for spending your time with me. Again, I know you could be doing other things. Again, if you have prayer requests, bring them next time. I'm at aflourishinglegacy.com. Feel free to pop your email in there, and you'll receive the proven blueprint is what it'll direct you to, but also we can begin to speak via email that way, and you can ask your questions there if you have any. And I also would like to invite you through that email. I will invite you to my free community, which will be multifaceted, but mainly around wholeness, health, and our spiritual needs and growth. So that's what that's about. So I hope you'll join me again some evening, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. And until then, God bless you. Stay warm, stay safe, take good care of yourself and one another. God bless you. Good night.